fantastic time in the breakout rooms. We had just a lot of takeaways from Steve's session. We met some all great people. Many of them were already on the Great Discovery, others weren't, but yeah, just an epic session. But just put a one in the chat if this has been if you've got some value that you can see progressing your career and helping you reach more people. And that's what it's all about with this session that we're on right now. Is this particular summit. It's about really empowering you to be more effective. It's not a big, as I mentioned in a lot of the emails and messaging on here, it's not a pitch fest here. What we're here about is to help build a community of people that are intended to go out and be the more effective that we are in our messaging, the more people that are blessed and prospered from the messaging that we're putting out. And hey, making a lot of money is a good thing too. It's all good stuff. So we're going to be jumping up to our next speaker, and that is that's going to be Dannella Burnett. And Danella, Sandra, I'm not sure if she fell off as a co-host or not.
Sandra is on as a co-host.
No, Danella's a co-host, and I've got her spotlighted. I just don't see her there.
Okay, well, when Danella gets back, she's going to be coming on. Danella was introduced to us through Erin Loman Jeck, who brought Steve as well. As you know, all of us network birds of a feather flock together. And what I'm learning more and more about Danella is the expertise that she has in really monetizing your sales, monetizing your stage presence. At the end of the day, we can all be out there, and I don't know about you, but I get very passionate about our mission and the things that we're doing. And you're probably very passionate. I was talking with Anise Sales, and she's very passionate about the holistic treatments and therapies that she does. Listening to John Jew, he's very passionate about what he does. Yet sometimes that passion can have a tendency to get in the way of the economics that it takes to deliver it into a reality. And without sales, it doesn't make it work, unless you've got a benefactor that's a trizillionaire rich uncle that's taking care of all of your needs and your costs and your expenses, and you've got an unlimited bank account. The measure of success really comes from the value that people perceive and if you're not getting your message across and how valuable that information is, then it's not going to be effective for either party, the buyer, the seller, or the people learning, or the teacher, right? So with that, I'm going to bring up our next guest, Dannella Burnett, and I'm anxious to hear from you, Danella, because we've crossed paths. I haven't sat through one of your sessions yet, but Erin has been bragging on you for 2 years, and so it's like I am really excited to get some notes. Everybody, give it up for Dannella Burnett, and thanks. Be back shortly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you, Erin, and thank you, Steve, for really setting the stage for what I'm going to be talking about today. As was mentioned, I have 2 businesses, Encore Elite Events and Speakers Need to Speak. And I'm going to give you the 40-second or the 40-year story in about 4 minutes, if that's okay, because I want to just show you a little bit of the evolution and then why that evolution is important to now. I have been doing events pretty much since the dinosaurs walked the earth. I found Julia Child on TV when I was 9 years old. And I told my parents I wanted to be the next Julia Child. And they kind of patted me on the head, but that did start me on a path. I have a culinary degree. I moved into restaurants. I moved into personal event planning, weddings and reunions and things like that, which led to working with nonprofits, corporations, and then municipalities. Over the course of many, many years, I have done events from 25 to 250,000 people. Then I attended my own first personal development event. And for me, it was one of those sea parting moments, where you just get that clarity and you see all the parts and pieces of your life that have fallen together. For me, these kind of expert events are the engagement of the personal events. They're the cause of a nonprofit event. They are the business of a corporate event. And they have the community of a big festival or a municipal event. And so I started moving myself and my business in this direction and became a speaker and a coach myself. I became a speaker because as I moved more into this arena of the expert event industry, I was growing my own business through networking and referrals. Anyone else growing their business through networking and referrals? Nothing wrong with that. But I discovered that I don't have a lot of control over networking and referrals. I would go to networking events and I would run around trying to meet the right person. And sometimes I would go home at the end of a networking event. This was in person, of course. And I just wondered if I just missed someone. Maybe they were on the other side of the room, or I just didn't meet that person who could become my next client or my next referral partner or my next collaboration. And the phone rang frequently enough where I'd pick up the phone and someone would say, Erin says you're great and I should talk to you about my event. Steve says he worked with you and you spoke at his event. We'd love to talk with you. We're looking for speakers for our event. Like the phone rang frequently enough, but I never knew when it was going to ring. So at the end of the year, the numbers looked good, but day after day or month after month, I had that up and down yo-yo effect in my business that is stressful. Where I don't know about paying payroll. I had a team that worked for me then. I have a team who works for me now. They appreciate getting paid every 2 weeks. I didn't know if those calls were going to come in that time frame. I didn't know about buying new equipment or marketing or adding things to my business because I didn't know when the phone would ring. And we started working with more and more speakers and coaches and helping them with their enrollment events where they were taking the stage and making offers from the stage. And I had one of those epiphany moments where I went, they're controlling their cash flow from their calendar. Light bulb moment, I said, it's time for me to take the stage. It's time for me to do what I see my clients doing, which is taking the stage, sharing your value, sharing your offer, and either inviting people through free offers to continue the conversation with you, to share their interests, share their contact information, and allow you to continue that conversation, or make a direct offer from the stage and put cash in your bank account while you're still talking. Pretty cool. So I started speaking in 2017 and started hosting my own events. And it only took 18 months for me to grow from a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business. And I have a feeling if you're here, that may be an aspiration of yours as well. Let me see a 1 in the chat if making an impact in the world is important to you. If there is a problem in the world that you believe you have a solution for, if there's a group of people in the world that you know you can help and you want to make an impact, let me see a 1 in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. I'm seeing 111. Yvonne's serious about the impact she wants in the world. All right, now let me see a 2 in the chat if you'd like to make a lot of income with that impact that you're looking to make. All right, now I'm seeing some 2s. As expected, Erin's button got stuck on the 2. I've known Erin for a very long time. Erin likes some income. She and I are both of the belief, we're not all about the money, but we really like what money buys. We really like taking our family to travel. We really like being able to order whatever we want on the menu without looking at the right side. We really like saying yes to whatever the VIP experience is. Erin and I are about the money because we enjoy what that money brings to our lives, our family, and we know that we have to make the money or at some point we can no longer make the impact. So for all of you who put a 1 that you'd like to make an impact, if you didn't say that you want to make the income, I want you to really check that, because you have to make both, or the impact that you're going to make is frequently diminished. And we need you in the world. We need problem solvers. I'm going to take a little bit of a detour though, and this might make a few of you laugh, because the name of my speaker services company is Speakers Need to Speak. We actually don't need you speaking. What we need you doing is solving problems and taking that to the stage so that more people will hear about the problem solving that you have. And you solve problems with your offers, your products, your programs, your services, your coaching. And so by focusing on the strategy and focusing on the offer, now you're speaking. If you're just up on the stage and you're hoping to provide inspiration and motivation and love and light and impact without some of that strategy, you're actually talking, not speaking. And anybody ever hear the phrase, talk is cheap? We don't need cheap talkers. We need speakers. Speakers who are using strategies, who know what the stages can do for them and what it's like to create their own stage. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of some terminology and some pathways so that you can start to make better choices with your speaking. You need to know what your end in mind is. Why are you looking to get on that stage? Are you looking to make an offer directly from the stage and bring people into your programs, products, and services in the moment? Are you looking to take that stage because you want more leads? You want more people raising their hands, and you need more people in your entrepreneurial engine to have conversations with? Or are you looking to take the stage and get paid for your knowledge and your expertise? You see, that's the three ways you're going to get paid. This is really complicated. You might want to get a pen. You're going to get paid before, during, or after. Before is when you have value and you're bringing it to the stage, and you're going to get paid as a keynote or a corporate trainer, or maybe speaking for an association or somewhere in the university or educational ladder. And you're going to get paid before you take the stage, not for the value you bring the audience. That's almost a given. But for the value that you bring the entity writing the check. So if you want to go down that pathway, you need to make sure that you're presenting it for how is it going to benefit the corporation for you to speak to their employees? How is it going to benefit that university and getting more students or keeping more students for you to speak to their students? How is it going to benefit that association to get more members or keep their members by having you speak? Because you need to show that value, because the entity is really your client, not the audience. So you want to show them the value so they'll write you a check. Now, this seems like it would be the best way to speak, is to get paid before. And there was a time period where I think that was a little bit higher up on the hierarchy. The challenge with getting paid to speak is you often do not get to promote. You do not get an opportunity to connect with that audience because your client is the entity. So know what that end in mind is, and know that that might be some bird in hand money, but it's not actually the way to make the most money from speaking. The second is to make money during the talk. Now, I'm going to take one exception to what Tim said, because Tim said, or at worst, pay for the stage. I'm going to take exception with that. When you buy the stage, you are the buyer at someone else's event. And that means that they have to give you a certain number of people in the audience. That audience needs to be of a certain type. You need to know who they're marketing to. And I have made the most money from the stage, and Erin's going to shake her head. My most lucrative hours on the stage have been when I was making an offer on the stage. And if I'm on someone else's stage, of course I'm going to pay them for that. They're marketing. They're putting the audience in front of me. That as my marketing dollars versus Facebook or direct mail or other ways that I might pay for advertising is dollar for dollar the best use of your marketing dollars. And you can pay for stages that are as little as a couple $100 to tens of thousands of dollars. The most I've ever paid for a stage was $18,000. I spoke for 45 minutes. I made an offer and I collected names. And over the course of the next 4 weeks, I generated $50,000 in the hour. And over the course of the next several weeks, I generated another $50,000. So how many of you would spend 18 to make 100? You don't have to spend that much, but when the maths, I write a check. The third way that you're going to make money from the stage is free opportunities, or where you can make a free opportunity, a free offer. Your gift, your resource, your calendar, join your group, come to your master class. You're going to offer something to the audience that they're not going to pull a credit card out, but they are going to share their contact information with you. And you're going to have the opportunity to invite them to something in the future where you can go in a little bit deeper, make an offer then. You're going to invite them to your calendar where you can have a sales conversation and you can make money. And you don't have to have $18,000. I see that in the chat. There are certainly speaking opportunities where you can make paid offers that are not that great. The money should match the opportunity. A smaller audience or a smaller opportunity should be less expensive than a big opportunity or a big audience. We help match speakers to sponsorships month in and month out, and they always need to have the mathing so that you can see your return on investment. But free opportunities, I had another opportunity in 2020 where I was speaking in front of 400 people. I made a free offer of my Crush It from the Stage checklist, how to be prepared, positioned, and profitable from any stage. 275 people out of that 450 took my free offer. Well, I also shared my calendar once they got that. And over the course of the next 6 weeks, 145 people put themselves on my calendar. Now, this was 2020 where we were a little bit faster with our time. And now, speaking in front of a group that big, I wouldn't open up my whole calendar. I would invite them to a masterclass, or I would invite them to an info session, or I would invite them to my upcoming event where I could then speak to them as a bigger group. But that 145 calls led to $65,000 in revenue over the course of a couple of weeks. Of course, as the 6 weeks went on, more and more people, there were more no-shows to my calendar and things like that. The other reason why I would bring them together a little faster if I were doing that same thing today. All of these are the strategies that go into your speaking. Any of those speaking opportunities, if I just showed up to talk, I wouldn't have gotten the results that I was looking for. Speaking requires a strategy. You need to know what your end in mind is, and you need to know what's allowed in that opportunity, and you need to be looking for the right kind of opportunities. Maybe some of you are fairly new to speaking, and standing up and doing a presentation or having all eyes on you in a Zoom is a little bit daunting. Maybe you don't have that signature talk yet. Look for podcasts, look for summits where you can do them interview style. Almost all of us can do a conversation about what we're passionate and we have an expertise on. And here's an extra for experts. When you do interview style speaking opportunities, wherever possible, go back and listen to those interviews yourself. Often in a conversation, you'll be reminded of a story that you'd forgotten about. You'll be reminded of an experience you had with the client. You'll be reminded of why you're passionate about what you're doing. You'll be reminded of something that could make its way into your signature talk. So those interview style speaking opportunities are both less scary and highly valuable. And if you're one of the 72 people that's nervous about taking the stage, because that's the number of us that have a fear of taking the stage. When I first started speaking in 2017, I did not know how to breathe and speak at the same time. So I could speak for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then my lips started to turn a little blue. I got really breathy. I got really airy, and all those things that Erin was talking about were part of the challenge. But in a conversation, I could go longer. I could get my point across. I could get more comfortable. I could get more confident. And now you can't shut me up. And I do 3-day events all the time. And I do 3-day events. I'm going to tell you why that's an important part of my business model today. So speaking to get paid before, during, or after, having that strategy, knowing where you're at in your business, what you're looking to do with that audience, whether you're looking to bring them to your event, whether you're looking to fill your calendar, whether you're looking to sell your small, medium-sized, or high-ticket offers. It's important to know those things so that you use the right speaking opportunities and employ the right strategies to get the results that you're looking for. And then that brings me to what I really want to focus on with you today, which is your own speaking opportunity, creating your own event. Now, Steve talked about one of the greatest types of events for generating leads, hosting your own summit. When you host your own summit, you get all the leads. And if you craft your summit and strategize your summit so that you can have other experts that have your ideal audience in their audience, in their database, you can exponentially grow your list. And that is a great thing to do before a launch, before your events, before your sales opportunities. You want more people who are interested in what you have to share. We partner quite frequently with Steve. In fact, we have an event coming up later this year that we'll figure out how to share it with the entire Great Discovery world, called the 6-Figure Event Mastery Bootcamp, where he speaks on summits and I speak on 3-day events. So I'm going to share with you all a little bit today on enrollment events. A summit is a lead generation event. I want to speak on enrollment events. How can you have an event to make an offer and invite people to do business with you right away? The first is knowing what you want to sell. The end in mind is where everything starts in my world. So what do you have to sell? Is it a low ticket course? Is it a low ticket masterclass or smaller event? Is it your membership? Do you have something that's a little medium priced? Maybe it's a VIP day or a workshop or a little bit longer course or a higher value challenge. Or do you have a high ticket offer? Now, if you don't have a high ticket offer yet, I'm going to encourage all of you to have a high ticket offer. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to find out how we can work on those together before I'm done. A high ticket offer, your premium services, typically valued at $8,000 to $100,000, should be the target of your business. All roads should lead to your high ticket offer. Other offers that you have should be what I call baby offers, meaning they're part of your high ticket offer. That when you execute on your course or your challenge or your VIP day or your smaller offering, you should then be able to offer your high ticket offer for the right clients. And it should be a natural extension of the service and then the work you do with folks. Having a high ticket offer will allow you to generate real impact and real income for your business. The majority of you, if I were to poll each of you right now, and I'll ask you if you're game, if you had an offer say of $10,000. If you already have an offer of $10,000 or more, go ahead and put 10K in the chat, meaning you already have an offer of 10K or more. And if you don't have one yet, would 5 to 20 clients paying you $10,000 or more, would that make a significant difference in your month or your quarter or even your year? I do see more of you in the room than I see 10K in the chat, which tells me there may be some of you that need some help and support creating that high ticket offer. I believe we all have something of high value because we are serving serious problems in the world. Some of you are helping people have better relationships. Do you know how expensive a divorce is? If you can help people not have a divorce, you're solving a high ticket problem. Some of you help people have a better relationship with self, fall in love with the person they see in the mirror. Do you know the impact that you have in the world if you have people standing in their self-worth, loving themselves, choosing to stay on this planet? That is a high value problem you're solving. Some of you help people make more money. Some of you help people save money. You all have high value problems you're solving, so you should have a high value offer to help solve that problem. Once you have that, many of the other parts of your business will fall into place. Once you have a high ticket offer, now when you take the stage and you invite people into your calendar, you invite people into your world, you invite people into your events, now you can focus on that higher value conversation. We help clients do enrollment events where you're making that offer from the stage, where you're inviting an aligned audience who has that challenge, who has that problem. In fact, when we do a 3-day event with our clients, we guarantee $100,000 or more will be generated from that event, or we'll do the event again. I didn't always offer that guarantee. I actually just started that about 2.5 years ago. But in the last 2.5 years, we were already doing it to the extent of about 94%. But since adding that guarantee, we've redone 2 events. So we're planning to keep that around for a little bit. How many of you would like some guarantees in your business? Well, the reason that we can do that is we plan, strategize, and execute those high ticket enrollment events in a very clear and systematic way. And I don't have time today to go through the entire 6-step to 6-figure event process, but we are going to be hosting a masterclass in about a week on August 9th. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat. This is a free masterclass. If you are interested in having 6-figure events this year or next year, I'm going to share that link. And of course, I had it saved and then I copied something else. I copied Erin's valuable masterclass and I dropped the link for my own masterclass. So let me grab that again really quick. I'm going to put that in the chat. This is the 6 steps to 6-figure events masterclass. This is a free 90-minute session where I'm going to go through those 6 steps in order. Because when you build something out of order, you don't always get the results that you're looking for. Do any of you, have you ever built a Lego set, or maybe you've got kids or grandkids and you've built the Lego set and there was that one piece that got tucked in the corner of the box and you didn't realize it, and you threw the box away and you're putting together this Lego set and it just doesn't come together well. And you realize you missed a step along the way. That's what events are like. It's critical that you create that event in order. We often see people go, oh, I have an event, I got to go right to marketing. And they don't do some of the planning and the strategizing that is so critical. I'm going to pull back the curtain and invite you to this masterclass where we're going to go in deep, and I'm going to share some templates with you that we use to really craft that six-figure success. And I'm pretty excited. I don't know how yet, because I'm not new to the Great Discovery, but I have not given it all of the time and the attention that it is worthy of. I do so many things live, but I am getting the encouragement from Erin and from Tim to take this masterclass. We're going to record it and we're going to turn it into a course that you're going to be able to get in the Great Discovery, but hear it live to get it first. So go ahead and register for that live masterclass on August 9th. I'm going to go in deep to the 6 steps to six-figure events so that you can start planning not only what your offer should be like. We start there because you need a high ticket offer to have a six-figure event. So we're going to go through offer creation. We're going to go through those steps so that you can start to plan whether you want the remainder of 2025 or 2026 to be the year that you can add 6 to 7 figures through the power of events. I don't know of another vehicle that allows us to do in a year or in a weekend what most people can do in a year. I remember the first time that I did $100,000 in an event. The previous year, I had done $120,000 in revenue. I don't know any other vehicle that allows for that kind of leverage that is both ethical and legal. 2 things that are pretty important to me because I don't look good in handcuffs and I don't look good in orange. So I do like ethical and legal things. And I think events are the best leverage that you can use in growing your entrepreneurial endeavor. And when you see all this and some of the things that I've shared and Erin has shared and Steve has shared and Tim has shared, you'll see that your business is an engine. And when you put that engine together and you feed it the right fuel, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. We have 3 cars sitting out in the driveway. My husband's car, I don't even know what year. It's an old beat up pickup truck. I don't even know what year it's from, but suffice to say, it does not start with 2000 anything. It is an old truck. Now that truck, though, does its job. It does the heavy lifting. It hauls the trash off. We don't put premium fuel in that car, though. That car runs better using low octane. We know what it is. We know the job we want it to do, and we feed it the right fuel. My son's car. Now, I've suggested that he put a little higher octane in there, but let's be real. This is the 17-year-old looking to drive from here to there. He just wants slow and steady. He wants to make sure that it's going to run, and because he's got to pay for the gas out of his part-time job, he's not going to pay for premium. I kind of liken that to the speaking opportunities where you're collecting leads. Like, you're not going to see that massive influx of cash, but that's the slow and steady. You're getting leads for your business. You're on podcasts. You're on summits. You're steady growing your business, getting connections, filling your calendar. Now, I like to drive in a little bit more luxury. I have a Ford Explorer, the platinum version out there, and she loves high octane. But when she and I go, we are comfortable. We make big impact. And I liken that to hosting your own event and selling from the stage. But I got to know what my destination is each time. I have to know which one of those 3 vehicles I should get in, what kind of fuel I should put in there to get to the destination that I'm looking for. Start treating your business like an engine. Feed it, fuel it with the right opportunities, the right kind of speaking opportunities, the right kind of events, and you're going to not only get to the destination that you want to get to, but you're going to bring along passengers. You're going to bring along those people that you're meant to serve and support. And I appreciate what each and every single one of you do, making the world a better place. Because I don't have the answers for everything. Now, don't ask my husband. He will tell you that I think I have the answers for everything. And I will certainly give my opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent. I am delusionally confident in my opinions. But I don't have the answer for everyone. I can't solve every problem, but you can. And I know the work that we do, getting you out on more stages, helping you host events that put you in front of your ideal audience, the world becomes a better place. So thank you for helping me fulfill my purpose by you fulfilling yours. Let's make massive impact and let's make massive income by taking it to the stage, by taking it to the right stage, by using that right strategy to get the results that you're looking for. And I think I finished up just a couple of minutes early. I was kind of passionate and speaking fast today, although I hope you did not take that. What was it somebody was saying earlier? Like the fast talkers and the snake oil salesmen, they talk fast so you can't think. I hope that I've actually given you something to think about today. I just shared it pretty quickly. So Tim, I'll either give you back a couple of moments, or if we want to open it up for some questions, and I'll put the link to the masterclass in the chat again. I'd love to see you all there, and it's been a pleasure being here with you today.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get your masterclass up on the Great Discovery. It's going to go crazy. 120 languages. What's going to happen? I'm panting. You know, Danella is spot on if you were just listening to what she was talking about here. You know, it takes capital to build a stage, to build an event. Sometimes it's relational capital, whether it's your relationships or other people where you're leveraging other people's relationships, right? Sometimes it's flat out money that you got to go out and work your tail off to build that list. And yes, there's times when you can get the ideal crowd where it's a good time to go in and invest, pay to get on their stage if it's the right group of people, right? But it's a different thing. It's different gas. It's just like you were saying, different gas for different things and what you're looking for. Everybody's got a different thing. I mean, we've got, with the Great Discovery, all of you here that are promoting, and any offers that comes through and all the traffic and everyone that you came through, they're part of your list now. Anybody that orders is in your organization now. You're getting paid on all of it. And that's where the leverage comes in. That's that you're leveraging those relationship capital of others. That's what the Great Discovery is. It's a global network of relationships. Thank you, Danella. I appreciate that. Does anybody have a question? We've got like 2 minutes. Anybody got a question for Danella before we pop in? We do have a Q&A session coming up at the end, but just go ahead and pop your hand up, or just scream or something. I see Alan got a hand up. Alan, go ahead. You're muted, my friend.
I can jump in there if that's okay. Hello, Ms. Danella. It was great to see you. Amazing presentation. What if you have, or in my case, there's so much that I'm doing, but I have not narrowed down a high ticket offer. I need guidance with that.
Please come to the masterclass. We're going to focus on that. And I will say, I don't think there is a better use of your time than to get that squared away.
Okay.
It is the highest leverage. I mean, if you could get one client at $10,000 versus how many clients you might need to get for your $200, $300, $500,000 offers, it's the highest leverage point. And if that becomes the pinnacle and you build your business around that and under that and aimed towards that, one high ticket offer to $500,000 or $1 million in revenue, and you will get there. If you don't do that, your chances of getting there diminish greatly. I'd love to help you focus that in.
Thank you.
Okay, we got about 30 seconds. Joyce Christie.
Live or virtual, Danella?
Both. We see about 70-30 these days. Obviously, we went 100% virtual. I think it's part of the strategy. Why are you doing it? Where are you doing it? How wide a net do you want to cast? Virtual allows for a wider net. In person allows for higher engagement, but that's more expensive. It's a little riskier. So it starts with that end in mind. And I'm going to be talking about that during the masterclass because it's a very valid question. And then there's hybrid, which is a whole nother animal, but it can be the best of both worlds or it can be the worst of both worlds. And we're going to talk about that in the masterclass.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Danella. We're going to jump into our next breakout session coming through. So as we go into this breakout session, this is going to be our last one for the day. Then we've got also a Q&A at the end of the day. Anybody wants to stay and it's open mic time and chat and tell us all your great stories, that'd be awesome. But we're going to jump into this next breakout session. We've got 15 minutes. When you first get in there, make sure you designate one person that at least wants to be it as the leader. And let's see if we can keep going. Spend 30 seconds just introducing yourself, what you're about, what you want to do, and what you want to accomplish. And then tell a little bit about what your biggest takeaway from Danella's session was and how you're going to apply it. What are you challenging yourself to do based on what you just heard? So I'll turn it over to James Moneypenny to take us away. Take it away, Jamie.
All right, everyone. I want you to go have some fun. Share your contact information so these relationships you're building, you can continue them on. There's huge value in creating these relationships. If you turn your camera on, please turn it on so they can see you and make a direct connection. And have some fun. We'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.
James, did you remember to stop